Hello and welcome back, everybody. In the previous video, I talked about how many spiritual faiths they go about things as far as we need to suffer, right, in order to eventually deserve, and it's based on like sort of requirements in order to be met, and then once we do that, we're worthy now, right? And this is not only present like I've talked about education. This is the same idea is present, and there's other aspects of life where this is also present, right? Which I failed to mention one of them in a previous video, and one of the previous in the previous videos I should have mentioned that we have this quote that we hear quite a bit from women especially, which goes that if you can't handle me at my worst, you don't deserve me at my best. And this is the same concept of that you need to deserve and need to prove yourself. And although there's a little bit of a different twist to this, where people that go about this and approach it like this when it comes to dating, they want to push things to see if the person they're with really loves them, right? So if they really love them, they will suffer, right? And like for me, I would say that there is something quite fundamentally wrong somewhere. And eventually, I think one of the videos in the future, I'll probably address this, but I do need to think about it more. But this video here, I'm going to be talking about why we are deserving and what it takes to eventually get what we want, right? In my opinion, when it comes to things that we desire, it doesn't have to be spiritual things. It can be anything from, wanting a better job, wanting some more money. We deserve it because we exist, right? And if we're connected with who we really are, then we will attract this, because this is the fundamental you, right? The fundamental you, when we're connected with who we are very much aligned spiritually, right? And this, the more connected we are, the more that things will become easy for us. You see this when people are really into their element and they're performing, let's say, music or art, and they're doing some masterpieces. Well, that is them really connected with who they are. And these are just examples of how we could apply this to any interests or passions that we have. That if we go about things, and this is really a big part of who we are. Let's say for me it would be music, and I'm really connected with this and I'm following my passion, I will become very good at it, because it's a sort of like natural talent, right? And I'm hoping that people start going in that direction, where they get connected with who they are, so they know what they're all about and they know what they love. And when we connect with what we love, then everything that we'll do will be really, really awesome, right? And not only that, we will no longer feel like we're going about life and doing things that we hate day after day, just like when we hear people hating their jobs. We hate our jobs because this is not really part of what we love, and we go ahead and we sacrifice the what we love part for the money, because it takes a lot of money these days to survive. What I'm trying to say, though, at the same time, is that if we're connected deeply with who we are, let's say you start really going deep into music, you will be able to make a really good living if you dedicate yourself to it, right? It's not just simply about connecting with yourself, but we need to explore this and practice it. We need to apply ourselves to it. Another thing that we would need to do in order to really be connected with who we are is that we need to get out of our own way. We know, deep down inside what we're all about, the things that we love. It's not a mystery about, finding yourself in that sense, because it is very apparent. We've known this, the stuff that we've always loved in our lives. It is an indication of the real you, your sort of purpose on here. And if we're standing in our own way, which by that I mean if our ego is standing in the way from our connection with our soul, then this standing in your own way will sabotage everything. And obviously these are all wounds, right, that I'm talking about, the ego part, where the wounds are coming into play, and we're not able to really connect because we are basically self-sabotaging, as I talked about. And at the end, this is like comparing your ego and your soul, where if you're connected with your soul, things will be very, in a sense, like easy, and time will just like go by so fast, right? You know how like when we are having fun, everything at the time just seems like it's going by so quickly, while if we're really not enjoying what we're doing, time seems to go on so slowly. And this is because like when we're connected with our soul, things are very much in a flow state, right? We're very aligned. And when we're connected with our ego, well, things are very difficult, and that's where the suffering part comes in, where we really need to bear down and we need to just pull through, right? And this is connected with the self-sabotage, of course. And many people who go about like the whole suffering part, they eventually, and if they apply this spiritually, they will call this divine suffering. And I, for one, don't believe there is such a thing. In a sense, unless you want to make it that way, you can make it as difficult as you want. Maybe that's one of the lessons that we're here for, is to learn how to do things the hard way. But if we're going about things and we're constantly suffering, which creates some trauma, and then these trauma create some wounds, which makes us less connected spiritually, then we're in a catch-22 thing where we're going to be troubled just because we're trying too hard, or we're not doing what we're supposed to. But at the end, if you want to make it as difficult as possible, you can. That's one avenue that we can explore. Although I don't recommend it, it is still one way that we can go about things to accomplish something, right? Now, I want to make clear something, that I am not interested in telling anyone how to live their lives, or what to do, or what the spiritual life is all about. At the same time, I want to just put it on and direct it in your direction, and say that you are the captain of your own ship, and you can decide to go whatever direction that you want to go in. Now, I want to make something clear here, that I am not interested in telling anyone how to live and what they should look into spiritually and how they define the spiritual life. At the same time, I want to make sure that if we are going about this and we're suffering, then for me there's a big issue, because if we're suffering, then there's a part of this that we're beating ourselves because we feel that we're not worthy. And that is something that we should explore before we continue on suffering. We should explore why we are feeling self-worth issues. Because if not, we're going to keep on feeling bad about ourselves, and all this stuff that will entail from not feeling that we're worthy, right? But at the end, it's up to you. It's up to you if you want to go about this and make it as hard as on yourself as possible. You can, right? Although this is certainly not for me. And then for me, this would the exploration of why we have self-worth issue. That is the thing that we need to explore the most. We need to explore what is going on in your own consciousness, and what are all the beliefs behind all the stuff that we do. And this, for me, is one of the fundamental things as far as spiritual matters go, is that we need to examine things, not just like when it comes to inside of us, but also life in general. And by exploring and contemplating about this, meditating on this, we'll gain some cues or some clues on what's going on. And once that we do, then we can start really connecting more and more with who we are. But at the end, like I said, you can go about this in any direction that you want. It's up to you. So this wraps it up what I have to say about this topic. I'm hoping that people find the peace inside, and they don't look out for something outside of themselves for validation or for confirmation that you are worthy of something. This is all something that we can only give to ourselves, and we do this by connecting with who we are. Right? We connect when we connect with who we are, then we know that we're worthy. We know our value. We know what we're here for. And I'm hoping that's what people will strive to do, and start living the life of our dreams. So, that wraps up this video for now. So if you liked it, just hit the like button. If you're not subscribed, hit that subscribe button. And until next time.